So Mo, we're really talking about a transformational change in an approach to education here. This is not incremental improvement. This is about a pretty radical new change in the way that teaching and learning happens. There are a couple of examples of that are underway.
Well, you're absolutely right. We still need those incremental changes, but more fundamentally, we need a paradigm shift. And that basically is some of the examples that I'll give you will really demonstrate those changes, that these are not just concepts, but actual work that has already been happening. One, I'll give you the example of the Gateway Initiative. The Gateway Initiative is part of an alliance that was created at Cal State East Bay in California about a year and a half ago. And this is bringing a group of over 30 key stakeholders for education, individuals from the 3 counties, Alameda, Contra Costa, and Santa Clara County, offices of education. We have school district superintendents. We have community college chancellors and presidents. But also we have foundations, corporations, and many other thought leaders and entrepreneurs. And currently it has more than 30 different entities that are part of it, as well as some of the social services and faith-based institutions. The whole idea for this is to identify what, if you look at the whole continuum of cradle to career, throughout this process learning occurs. But at different levels, we need different emphasis. What are the kind of things that we can do at pre-K level? What are the kind of things that needs to be done at the education level at the elementary school? What kind of verbal skills that that students should have at their 3rd grade? How that really is impactful on the students' capability to get quantitative skills. And what are the kind of things that needs to be done in the middle school? For instance, in California, one of the things that we've seen that students who do not finish Algebra 1 or do not do it successfully while they're in 7th and 8th grade, 50% of them will not even finish high school. So we have taken these specific areas to see how surgically we can make an impact. So as part of it, for instance, we're adding over 24 math academies in the summer for students who have those difficulties. And then all the way to college, even when students get to college, see what we can do to help those students discover the areas that they need to go to school. And then as part of it, how they can really get the kind of counseling that they need so they will all be retained and graduate from school. But also when they graduate, there are many studies that show that by the current graduates, by the time they are 40 years old, they would have gone on the average about 10 different job changes, which means that universities has to be a continual places where students can get that continual learning opportunities through maybe stackable certificates where they could do small certificates for a particular task, and where some of these ones could add to individual degree programs. But they don't have to necessarily come to a campus physically to do that one. Some of that could be done online, some of that could be done through some coaches. So it could be a variety of different learning models that could be used so individuals could learn. So the Gateway has been a very successful one, and we have received a number, the model that we have used has been a more proven model that started by Strive in the city of Cincinnati about 4 or 5 years ago, and it has been, and there are about 3 or 4 other models around the country. What makes a Gateway model even more successful and gives it strength, this is the only one that is STEM focused, or the focus is science, technology, engineering, and math, because we feel that technological fluency is such an important survival skill for any individual, whether they are graduating in engineering or English, history or biology. So everybody needs to have that one. So Gateway has been a very successful one, and it's still continually transforming itself. But we have already identified some key metrics and measures that the region as a whole will be measuring itself. So that has been one of those examples. I think a second example is the STEM Virtual University. The STEM Virtual University as a concept started at Cal State East Bay a few years ago, where we began putting more and more of our programs online. So as we started putting some of our courses online, we realized that was a good start. That where some of the students could take their courses without coming to the campus. But then we realized how we need to put all of the wraparound services, namely all of the counseling, advisement, orientation, and other help for the students. As we put that one online, we realized that for students, they need other services on how they can really connect to other tools that are available all around the country. For instance, if we look at MIT's Negroponte's lab, what they try to do is to bring all of the different tools together for the students, so students will be able to access that. But we took the concept and we said, well, how about if we can have access to certain equipment in national labs or corporations? For instance, if there is a very expensive electronic microscope in a particular company that we can have access to. The university cannot afford to buy that one. The student cannot afford to come to the campus. How through a virtual university that student could have access to that particular expensive piece of equipment, or also how that students could be part of a group that will collectively work on a particular problem that could be across different cultures and across different time zones and in nations. So the concept of STEM Virtual University, it's there. We have many aspects of it, but recognizing that it's still it's something that will be in early stages. We have the results, but we need the help and the effort of many others to join us, because in some ways this is like trying to build a house where some elements have been designed and other elements are being designed. So as we are building it, we're designing it, we're designing other elements. So this truly is a very transformative element that is in a continual evolution, and as we go along, it's evolving itself. And also the other element that has been a very fundamental aspect of it is the collaborative nature, where industry, public sector, the K-12 elementary school, middle school, and high schools, and community colleges are working collaboratively with the university system.